Hello and welcome to the Future Hid Movie Gems podcast. I am your host, Ty Spiker Christensen. I'm not new to only Disney is. We've got
I'm
Jordan Christensen on the podcast.
I'm just so happy your audio is finally back to good because it was
Hear
like
the
slowly.
sultry, buttery sound of my voice, listeners. It's
I
back, baby.
I just like the because 2 episodes ago it was like computer audio, and then last week it
Then
was your phone
phone.
audio.
And now we're back to computer, baby. It's coming through the mic. So you'll be able to hear all that. Me clearing my throat and swallowing. And we got Cameron Mickle on the podcast.
The proposal.
Look, I can do it too.
I can do it too. And we've got Colton Reed on the podcast.
I've got something.
That was a good one. Folks, today we are reviewing and discussing Deadpool versus Wolverine, known as Deadpool, number 3,
and Wolverine.
also known as the last crying gasp of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, trying to generate interest. No, I'm kidding. Not all going to be cynical here, but is everyone else is thinking it, right? Or is it just me thinking it? I'm such a cynical. Such a cynic. Okay, this movie came out in 2024. It's probably in theaters now. If you run, you can go catch it. Support movies like this so they keep getting made. It was directed by Sean Levy. Stars Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Matthew McFadyen or McFadyen. That doesn't make sense. Emma Corrin, John Favreau. There was a few others. Rob Delaney, Jennifer Gardner, Wesley Snipes, Channing Tatum. I forgot all of them were in the movie. Chris Evans in the movie. Oh, this is spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen
Ty
this
tells you
movie.
everything. Then shoot, spoilers.
Spoilers. So yeah, let's get into it. What was this movie like when you first saw it, and what was it like rewatching it for the podcast? Start with you, Colton.
Yeah, I was preparing for the podcast without preparing for the podcast. I watched it last Tuesday for $5 Movie Tuesday, and then Cameron invited me this time. And I'm like a dog with separation anxiety. If Cameron is going somewhere, I want to go with him, to stay by his hip or whatever. But the first time I saw it, I was actually genuinely really surprised. I thought it was going to be terrible. I was like, oh, it's just going to be this hodgepodge of, references and stuff like that. But I laughed a ton. Like I really had,
Which it was still that hodgepodge, but you did laugh.
yeah, exactly.
Did you like the first
I laughed
two?
a ton. And then
Did you like the first two, Colton?
I liked the first one, and the second one I thought was all right. But it has the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People in
Yeah.
it. And it has I just forgot Zazie Beetz in it, who I have a crush on.
From
So
Atlanta. Yeah, she's awesome.
yeah, anyways. So yeah, first time I saw it, the only problem was that the theater I was in was literally a billion degrees. It was awful. So I couldn't wait for the movie to end. And then I saw it the second
Did
time.
they turn it off like they did for Sound of Freedom? They didn't want you watching the movie or something, sabotaging the theater.
Oh yeah, true. Maybe all the big or the anti-Deadpool lobby or
That's
whatever.
right. Yep.
But
Exactly.
yeah, then the second time I watched it with Cameron, didn't enjoy it nearly as much. I think maybe some of the novelty wore off. But the theater was a good temperature, so
I wasn't sweating like a
Yeah.
sinner in church, so I guess it's good.
Yeah.
I didn't cook into a rotisserie chicken.
I love that your
Bake a
review
loaf.
of the second viewing experience was like your experience in the theater. That was great.
Yeah, thank you.
That was beautiful.
It's great. And it's so true, dude. A movie theater going experience. I just talked to a
It-
friend that saw this movie and he's like, yeah, the first 20 minutes, the audio got mixed up and then the movie started over. They had to start the movie over again. So he watched the first 20 minutes twice. The movie already started a half hour late. So he's just like, dude, I'm ready to go.
It can seriously, completely ruin or make your experience depending
and
on
people you're with,
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you watch Green Knight with me,
Yeah.
You
laughing a lot
could watch
more.
that movie with anyone. I don't think anyone's gonna save that movie, Cameron.
Oh, no,
So
but
you were thinking Green Knight. I was thinking of Green Lantern, and I was like, yeah, like immediately after that movie ended, the guy that bought me my ticket, he gets up. He was my roommate at the time, and he's like, gets up and he goes, "Well, that was a waste of money." before anyone could get a word in. It just set the tone of
Didn't
like
you
how
see it
much
in the
we just
dollar
bashed.
theater too?
I don't know. I don't think so. I
Oh,
think we bought to see it, like, and then
oh.
he bought my ticket, dude. That's like a $8 ticket at the time, dude. I'm like, oh, thank you.
I know now it's like
This never
double
goes.
that.
And I'm like, I know. And then like to think that he like paid to just see this crappy movie later.
Hmm.
It's timely because obviously Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool 2 was it? He's the time machine. Anyway, Cameron, what was it like watching this movie for the first time and rewatching it for the podcast?
Yeah, watching it for the pod was for the first time. Watched it yesterday with Colton and then Allie, and it was just funny. Like I was
Who's
just
Allie?
Oh, wait,
like
Allie was there? I didn't know that.
yeah.
I knew
And
that.
I thought it was just you and Colton.
No.
But
Does
we
Allie
did.
know
We
Cameron?
did.
He didn't
hold
want a
hands a little bit.
full. Cameron's like, hey, come on, Ellie, make me
Yeah,
look cool.
Cameron and I
Um,
did hold hands a little bit, just so you know.
Cameron's like, this is my Holden, and she's like, whoa, be careful with your labels. They might think you as gay.
As
Yeah.
gay.
I am gay. Anyway.
No, but I was a little nervous going into watching this because we rewatched the first one, me, Colton, and Allie, in preparation for this, and we were gonna try to watch the second one, and I was like, I just didn't enjoy the first one as much as I did the first viewing. So I thought the first one was really clever, the first viewing, and like really enjoyable. I still thought it was enjoyable. It just dropped from like an 8 to a 7 for me, and so I was just a little nervous going into like Deadpool Wolverine. I'm like, oh yikes. Um,
Cameron, I
but
couldn't even get through the first one again. Me and my wife tried, and I was just like, I'm so done with superhero movies. Just, and it's so sad because the first time in the theater it was like, this is like so different than I
mhm.
felt like
Dude,
it
this
was.
is a Deadpool 1 was a pre The Boys and Invincible world.
Yeah.
Just gonna
So
throw it out there of shows that like push the envelope of superhero movies.
I
Yeah.
felt like it was trying something new and different and
Yeah.
fresh. And then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
watch it now and you're like, this has been done 100 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, and like overall viewing experience was fun. Like definitely laughed a lot, and there were some really funny like lines and I was kind of glad Colton kind of prepared me. He's like, yeah, the plot not really super there, but he's like, there's gonna be some fun references and like moments. And I thought like honestly, considering like with the title of Deadpool and Wolverine, like I thought that they delivered on some like fun action. I loved how majority of the action scenes were them fighting each other, just like even though neither of them can die, just trying to cause as much pain and inconvenience to the other one. I thought that was like just really clever and fun. Um, but yeah, it was overall pretty fun.
And that counts as one of yours of the two.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. Remember, Cameron, when
Counts
you
as
used to
one.
tally mark the.
Like,
Yeah,
hey,
it's because
save
you
two
and
things.
Grant would do like 5, and then you're like,
Yeah. You're like,
wait, have I done my
have I
second one? And
yeah,
I'm
have
like,
I
you've left nothing about the
the
film.
Yeah.
Jordan, how about you? What was it like watching this movie for the first time, rewatching it for the podcast?
I don't know if I knew at the time that Disney owned this, but as soon as it started getting into it, I'm like, oh no, Disney owns this. Like, because there's just a lot, like half of it I really enjoyed, half of it was like, Disney. But I really enjoyed just like Cameron mentioned, that that'll be part of my favorite
Yeah,
things
I feel like
is
they tried too hard to try to incorporate it into the universe, like into the Marvel multiverse. That I was like,
But
like
like they didn't though really well. Yeah, or I get what you're saying. Are you saying they tried and I don't know, I
yeah,
don't think it worked. It
yeah. That like I just felt like the entire like essentially like Loki inclusion was just kind of like, why is this here?
Does anyone even yeah, Loki, that show, man. My goodness. I don't know what to say, dude.
it was just
Let
an
me yeah.
okay show. It wasn't even anything super. Yeah.
It's like, hey,
It,
remember Thanos? How much of a threat he was? He's nothing. Look at all these infinity gems. I got him as paperweights on my kitchen desk. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great way to like, I don't know, carry the show on. Yeah,
Undercut
like
like
undercut everything I just watched. I
7 years
guess
of
they
buildup.
they literally just went like, hey, you remember that show you paid to watch and you put so much time and invested in it? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm like, I guess you're right. Kind of woke me up. I was like, oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Why did I get so invested in the first place? Boy, am I a sap. Watching Deadpool, I put in my review, it's like I've had superhero fatigue before, but I felt it again and feeling superhero fatigue twice in a Deadpool movie of all things. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't. I don't know. I think I'm done with superhero movies. Unless you can, I don't
I know
know.
we
If it's
keep saying
Invincible
that and we just
season 3,
you keep eating
keep
it like
watching.
trash.
Yum, trash. Yeah, gotta keep eating it. No, to be fair, it felt different enough from everything I've seen. So like that was nice and refreshing because I just saw another great movie. I watched Long Legs, which we
Abigail. Oh,
reviewed.
long legs.
Well, I was just saying in theaters, right? Like, and
Oh,
I'm kind of like, hey, let's go back to theaters, small indie films. Like, I want to go see Cuckoo, and I'm hoping to go see that sometime this week and or next week. Hopefully it's still playing because I'm like, small indie films, are they just gonna go away? Like I don't know if they're gonna be there next week. It freaks me out. Like anyway, so I'm like, I do want to see Cuckoo, and I see these small films kind of cropping up again, you know. I don't know, it just feels refreshing, and I hope studios are like gonna back the freak off of these big budget schlock fests of just like movies by committee where it's like, oh, we said all the things, like you said, the incorporation of the Avengers and all that, and even like the reverence in which he's like, I want to be Avenger. I
I
just like,
know.
it sounds so fake. It sounds so fetching forced. I'm like, you don't care. You don't care if you're an
Yeah.
Avenger. Like,
I mean, also
I
I feel
get it. They're
like
trying to
it's
give him a character
never.
arc, but I don't know. First two
I was just gonna
movies.
say I feel like it's never gonna go away because I saw like maybe 2 or 3 days ago, Deadpool and Wolverine made over $1 billion so far. And so like even though like it's very clearly like you were saying movie by committee, like Cameron showed me this thing of Vince Vaughn talking about like why they don't make kind of like old school, and by
Comedies,
old school I
R-rated
mean old
comedies.
school the movie old school comedies and stuff like that
Mhm.
anymore. And it kind of feels the same where it's like, okay, we have to check these certain boxes. We have to make sure to have these references and stuff where it's like it gets away from just like, making a movie and just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and Vince Vaughn says he says like the biggest problem with comedies now, he says it has to have an IP in order to be a comedy. Whereas he said comedies used to be
Or
about
starring John Cena, you know. He's
and
been in
like
like 3 comedies.
o-
Blockers, and he was in Ricky Stenicki. I just watched
old
too. So
old
he's like in
comedies
everything.
used to have like it would be about a scenario or a situation that is relatable, like, oh, everyone's been 17 or everyone's been to high school or like everyone's been to weddings. And so it's
I
things
think
like that.
all 3 of those were Zac Efron films.
Yeah.
You just did 17 again. You did
Well,
Zach and get weddings or whatever, get dates, and then you did
I was thinking of
well, he's
Wedding
Wedding
Crashers.
Crashers.
I was
Yeah.
thinking
no,
Wedding Crashers too.
no. You did all 3 of those were Zach 17 again. And what was the other ones you said? Oh my gosh, that's so
High
funny.
School.
High School Musical. All right. Anyway, all 3 Zac Efron movies came to mind, so I
And
just thought that.
anyways, but yeah, and so he essentially just talks about how like those things are
Sorry.
natural,
Okay.
and so that's what makes like it more enjoyable for the people is that everyone can relate instead of being like, "Hey, do you remember Jumanji?" And it's like, "Oh, it has to be have the IP connected to it in
Mm.
order for you to be like, "Oh, now I can enjoy this now that I know that."
Yeah,
It's just so much easier to market too.
superhero movies. Yeah, like
Not
superheroes
only
turned
not
into the
only does
comedies
it
that were being released. Yeah,
not
Yeah.
only does it have to have an IP, it also has to have Kevin Hart in it at some level.
Yeah,
Kevin
oh my
Hart.
gosh, like Borderlands. Apparently it's like one of the biggest box office like flops ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the movie is way too late, and I also feel like I don't know. I
And I'm like, you
love
gave us this
Kate
movie in
Blanchett,
2013.
and you're
Maybe a
giving
lot of
us
people are
like
going seeing it.
Kate Blanchett. You're better than this. Like, don't stoop yourself to whatever this is. Like, she's so elegant, and now she's like trying to be an action. But I did watch it thinking like, why isn't she Galadriel in Rings of Power? Because she would be way better than what's her face.
Hey, I don't accept that slander. I'm
Oh,
on
I'm sorry.
Byron's side for this one.
Byron likes Rings of Power.
He's watched
Well,
it 2 times or 3 times now.
our dad has mental issues. He's like, anyway, yeah,
Yeah, you're on the wrong side of this
wrong side of
argument,
history,
Colton.
dude. I'll just tell you that. Yeah,
Yeah. Colton's
you're the
over here
freaky
defending Hitler.
dude. I just sent a video about how Galadriel is a murdering psychopath that wishes the genocide, and they literally did a shot for shot comparison where what's that Hitler that abuses that woman, Ralph Fiennes in Schindler's List? That same scene where Galadriel sits down with Akbar or whatever, what's his name? Akbar, Adar. He's the leader of the orcs, but he's like an elf. That scene, the interrogation scene, literally mirrors from Schindler's List. Watch the. I send it to you guys. I don't know if you watched it, but how Galadriel is a murdering psychopath and created Sauron. I'm like, they're not wrong. I watched the whole video. I'm like, he makes a very compelling case. I'm just saying. Anyway, if they're going that route, that's pretty crazy. Like they're making Galadriel's this evil person that's eventually going to see the light and see the error of her ways, but it's almost a far bit too late. Like she created Sauron, she created the ring. It's insane. Don't watch Rings of Power, folks. Don't trust Byron. Don't trust Colton here. I'm sorry. And the actress, nothing against the actress. She's great. Saint Maud was a great movie.
Oh,
She's a
Saint
great
Maud's
actress.
so
Yeah,
good. Oh
great
my
movie. And
gosh.
she's got acting chops. It's just whatever they
Anyway,
committee
should we get
bat
back
out
to
with.
Deadpool Wolverine?
It's all the same. All the big corporate Disney,
Yeah.
Prime,
This is
all of
why
it.
I
It's
was
all
worried about
relevant.
talking about this movie because I knew Ty
Yeah.
would be so
Okay,
excited to
well, let's
bash
just talk about
Disney.
Deadpool and Wolverine then.
Yeah.
So get into two of our favorite things. Colton, start us off. What are your two favorite things from Deadpool versus Wolverine?
Is it versus or and? I thought it was and.
Deadpool and Wolverine. I always thought it was
And.
versus.
It's
No,
and
it's and.
it's and.
Well, they definitely go versus a few times. So
Yeah, that's true. It's a fair mistake. I think,
But a mistake.
but a mistake
yeah,
nonetheless.
still a
Well,
mistake.
it
You
uses
feel
the
bad.
symbol and. It doesn't even say it doesn't say and. It just has the symbol, and I just thought VS. I don't know would work
The
better.
ampersand.
Ampersand, yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
and I saw VS.
Yeah. Let's see here. My two favorite things. First, I think I liked how cold the theater was the second time. No,
Dude, you're scraping, man.
I love he's
Yeah.
trying to find something.
Well, that's the thing is I don't know if I have two favorite things. Something I liked about it
Yes.
was that it clearly
Was the movie?
trying to like
This was
poke-
one of the movies of all
This
time.
is one of the movies of all time.
it clearly was trying to poke and prod at like, the Disney sort of like trying to keep things cleanish and stuff. Like they're saying, we're absolutely not allowed to use cocaine. And then they go through all the different like nicknames
Names of
of cocaine and stuff. And I thought that's clever. That's clever because these are actual probably real conversations that the writers of the movie are having with Disney of like, you're allowed to mention one time. You're allowed to say the F word this many times. You're allowed to, and like I'm sure it was very structured for them, like what they were allowed and were not allowed to do. And I think that's funny, like to sort of, I know it's a it's a $1 billion movie and it's Disney, but like to rage against the machine a little bit, where it's like, you're gonna set up these rules for us. We're gonna get as close as we possibly can to the line. I liked that. I didn't like much else about it. The second time I realized like the novelty of it wore off. There was a few jokes that I laughed at as hard as I did the first time, but for the most part, like I don't know, it was kind of like you can only see Ryan Reynolds just going the proposal so many times where it's like actually funny, and then you're like, okay, this is like very low effort meta comedy.
Yeah. That's so funny you say that because I feel like with a lot of older comedies, you can watch it like a million times and that's the best part is requoting the stuff. Like, an Anchorman, you watch it with a million different friends and you just watch it over and over. But this movie is just not
Rick, how'd you get a
rewatchable.
grenade?
Like this movie is just, in my opinion, I haven't rewatched it yet, but I feel like I don't want to. I just don't care to.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'd be curious to see because Ty, have you watched it twice?
No, I've only seen it
so
once.
I'm the only one who's watched it twice, so I'm better than all of you. But I'd be curious to see if
You make a
any
lot
of
more
you
money than
watched
us,
it
that's
a
for sure.
second time, if you enjoy it nearly, like if you enjoy it significantly less.
Well,
than
if
you
it's
did.
anything like the other ones, like I can't even.
I don't
get
even know if I
through
need to
them.
see the movie to know I would. I agree with you, Colton. Everything you said, I'm like, I don't think I would enjoy this. And that again, I mentioned superhero fatigue. I'm gonna struggle with two things to say. There are three things I like about this movie, and I won't get into them first. Cameron, what are your two favorite things? Colton was
can go.
struggling there.
No, I want to
can-
go before you guys steal them all.
Okay, Jordan, you go.
Obviously,
Yeah,
Ty's
I've got
going to
three
mention
things.
this,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it is the best part is their fight in the minivan. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's one of the three.
excellent.
Yeah,
Them
it's hilarious.
stabbing each other and
Two
just
immortal people just stabbing each other, like making each other. They're just bleeding all over this car, and
Yeah.
they're stabbing each other,
That
throwing
final
each other
shot
out of the
of him
car,
like
diving
wrapped
back in.
up in the seat belts.
And then the
He's all
coexist
tied
sticker
up.
on the back with the blood on it, and then
Yeah.
the minivan's rocking.
Yeah.
It's great. No.
excellent. Yeah, and then the second one is at the very beginning when he's desecrating his grave. Like, excellent. Just takes out the body and he just starts stabbing and beating people with it. Those are
Yeah.
my two favorite scenes, and the rest, I mean, the Disney stuff. I just I don't know. When the Avenger guy showed up,
What is the Disney
Captain.
stuff, Jordan?
Okay, when
Yeah, you're
Captain
like, the Disney stuff, I mean.
what's his name? The Captain Marvel guy.
Chris Evans.
Huh?
Chris Evans.
Thank you, Chris
The
Evans.
actor
When he
plays
showed up
Spawn.
for a second, I'm like, oh, okay, they brought him back because of course Disney can't let anybody die. But then he turned into the Fantastic
Human
Four.
Torch.
Yeah,
Claymore.
I did laugh at that. I was like, oh, that's clever because it took
Yeah.
me a second to figure out like, oh yeah, he was the flamer guy from
Human
Okay,
Torch.
I was
yeah,
gonna say
Human
the only
Torch.
I can
What?
think of is Cameron. Sorry.
Nice one.
um,
Got him. You get points for that. Nice work, Colton.
the Human Torch, yeah, from Fantastic Four. So
No, let's just call him the Flamer from now on. I like that. I'm gonna give him the name the Flamer.
oh, and I did enjoy the soundtrack, I think. Yeah, because it was some of those songs were cracking me up. Like it's just fun to hear those songs from like high school, maybe even further back when I was
Like
younger.
the NSYNC Bye Bye
Yeah.
Bye, or yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that did make me chuckle. Like just watching
Yeah.
him dance more than like all the murder and the desecration of the grave. His dancing made me laugh.
Yeah.
It's funny to
It was
see.
just like, oh, this is
Hey,
lighthearted.
Deadpool's
I'm
dancing
a
to NSYNC. That's just funny. Yeah.
yeah.
But I almost feel like I had my brain turned off at that point. Like, it's a thing I get.
4 minutes into the
Yeah.
film, and Ty's already
Like a
drooling.
glob
Yeah.
of drool just comes out.
It
Anyway,
did feel
Cameron,
like an episode of Loki though. 'Cause
Loki. I don't know why you just it sounded like you said low key.
Loki.
I never even made that connection. On the
I-
low key, I don't like Loki. Low
Cameron.
key, don't like Loki.
Well,
Okay.
Ty
Anyway,
Ty can go because
Okay.
so Jordan took, yeah, one of the best three, the fight in the minivan. So I'll say the scrolling fight they had where they murdered all the different Deadpools was really funny. I don't even know where they came from. They're like, oh, all these Deadpools are here. And then they just start murdering all of them. I just thought that was funny. Like, it kind of the same thing as Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where it's like the scrolling hallway fight. Like, it's fun. They clearly had fun doing that scene, staging it. The camera just keeps slowly panning, and they're just kind of feels like one of those two-dimensional video games, the running guns, where you just like murder everyone as you're
Yeah.
running through the map. It was just funny to me. So
I was kind
I
of
had
hoping they would.
and then they all get up. I thought that was funny.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really? I was
yeah.
kind of hoping they were all dead, but that's okay.
I did too. I thought this would be like a funny joke, but then when they started regenerating, because they made the joke already where the one Ryan Reynolds gets shot up and he's
He
like, "Hey,
didn't
you'll
get up.
regenerate," and he's like, what's
Regeneration?
that? Yeah, what's that?" And he's bleeding out of his mouth, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" Anyway, I thought that was funny.
And he's doing CPR on his headless body. He's like,
He's like,
I think we
pumping.
lost him.
He's doing chest compressions and it squirts out. That made me laugh out loud. Like he did chest compressions and the body just squirted out. That was,
Yeah, that was really funny too.
haven't seen that before.
Regenerate.
Regenerate, yeah.
As he's like,
That
still
made
on
me
top
think of
the
Just Friends, Ryan Reynolds, when he smashes his face in the snow.
yeah,
When
and
he's
he's got
playing
the
hockey.
retainer after.
Yes, or when he's playing hockey and the puck hits him right in the face and he's bleeding all over the place, and they're carrying
Yeah.
him
They
up
drop
and
him
does
down the
they
like
drop-
toboggan slide essentially. Yeah, that was great.
What? Dude, everybody go watch Just Friends. That is like Ryan Reynolds' peak comedy, dude. Freaking love Just Friends.
Think the
Cameron, you
opening,
go.
huh?
My first favorite thing is what I kind of already mentioned and what sort of Jordan mentioned is I just thought it was really fun and clever that they did so much of Deadpool and Wolverine fighting, which I thought was just really enjoyable because I feel like one of the most annoying things with a lot of those is like trying to create that tension of like which is also why I didn't love the last scene where it's like they might die, that matter and antimatter. And I'm like, but can't you like regenerate? And then it's like we survived because of friendship, and I was like, what?
No, that was literally Guardians of the Galaxy. It's funny Ty mentioned that because remember
Yeah.
when they were all holding
Yeah, at the end
hands?
of the
Held
first one.
hands.
Yeah. I
Oh,
was like,
true.
oh, they did that
Guardians of the
again.
Galaxy. But what doesn't
Yeah.
he say the F bomb there? We're Guardians of the Galaxy, mother. What does he say? Or what is it he calls him? I can't remember. You dead or something? Yeah, he says something to him that made me
Oh
laugh.
my gosh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Doesn't he say Peter Quill says something? He's like, we're the Guardians of the Galaxy or something. I don't know.
I don't
Probably.
remember, but
He said
I'll,
something.
I'll look it up.
anyway,
Yeah, it's funny. But and no, I
Like-
get yeah, it's power of friendship.
but yeah, so I thought those scenes were just more enjoyable because it's like they can't kill each other. And I just imagine like two immortal people getting so annoyed by the other one. So it's just like, oh my gosh, especially because of how like Deadpool is. He's like trying to do anything he can to shut up Wade Wilson. And then my second favorite thing is I just thought the cameos were really enjoyable, and I like they're very nonsensical. Which, like, if you look at it from like an actual plot point, you're and like understanding, it's like what the hell is going on or heck is going
I
on, and so
just
then it's like
I
it
just
just
remembered my third thing when you mentioned cameos. Dude, can't forget Channing Tatum coming as some French-speaking
Oh, that
gambler. I
was
thought
gonna
that
be my
was
quote.
yeah.
And he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
no, no, no. He's like, you're gonna
Yeah,
have
he's
to
like,
try to
who's your
speak
dialect coach?
The Minions.
Yeah. But no, yeah,
Channing
and
Tatum coming was
I mean,
great.
is Channing
That was fun.
Tatum maybe the goat of cameos? I was just thinking of like every single cameo he's
Lately,
ever, like Bullet Train.
Bullet Train,
This is the
hilarious part.
end.
This
Like
is,
every
yeah,
single time he has a
I,
cameo is
he's
just like
rapidly, yeah. I'm
I'm
trying
like,
to
how are you
think if
stealing
there's,
the show with like 3 minutes of screen
He's in
time?
Bullet Train.
Yeah,
Is
he's
this
the
thing?
dude, he's the guy that's like on the train with him. He goes, is this
Oh yeah.
the guy sits in front of him and he's like,
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
Brad
gosh.
Pitt, and Brad Pitt's like pretend that
okay,
that
but
we're in a
just so you know,
conversation. He's like,
what's really
is this
funny,
a
just real quick, I didn't even think this. I haven't seen it. I think it was called Lost City or something like that. It had Sandra
the
Bullock
City
and
of
Channing
Z?
Tatum.
Me and Jordan watched
No, no,
it.
no, not
Oh,
City of Z. Stop saying that. It's not.
Whatever,
It's
Lost City.
Charlie
Lost
Dunham.
City.
I think it's Lost City. But
Yeah,
anyway,
Yes, and we
Brad
watched
Pitt
it.
makes a cameo in that. Did we mention this on the podcast? So
yeah,
Brad
and
Pitt
it's
makes a
vice
cameo
versa.
in that Channing
Yes.
Tatum movie
Yeah,
and Sandra Bullock movie. And Bullet Train, you had Brad Pitt and Sandra Bullock in that movie, and Channing Tatum makes a cameo. They literally took the three. I don't know. I just think that's crazy. Is that a coincidence? I don't know. Is Illuminati real? I don't know. I just feel like that there's something to it. What
That's the
happened?
last straw to
Someone
break
had
ties.
to have done that where
Yeah.
it's like these three actors are gonna cross paths twice in two different movies and two different studios. Crazy. Crazy to think about what is going on behind the scenes. I mean, yes, putting Brad Pitt, Sandra Bullock, and or Channing Tatum in your movie is gonna greatly enhance it. Let's just put it that way. Except Sandra Bullock's new nose. I can't get behind it. Every time I see her, I think of Uncanny Valley. I'm
or
sorry, girl.
her
You were
her
so
Korean
beautiful. You
baby
didn't need it.
skin.
Baby
Jordan
skin.
loves that Ellen clip. That makes me so uncomfortable.
I forgot to send you that, Ty. I need to send you
Please
that.
do, because I haven't seen
It's
it.
so
and you keep
creepy.
referencing
It's
It's the most
horrific.
disturbing video I've ever seen in my entire life.
baby skin.
It's like
Oh,
similar vibes to like confronting a predator at a Walmart. Just like
I even loved Wesley Snipes showing up, Carmen Electra. It was a funny meta moment where it's like two of these actors, their movies didn't do well, so they do away with them in the way. So I thought that was a clever meta moment because I'm like, see, they didn't literally say outright like, oh, our movies didn't perform well, but it's like we were banished because the higher powers didn't seem to fit to keep us going. And I'm like, oh, it's good. And again, you had Channing Tatum there who wasn't ever, but he was a X-Men character that they've just never
That-
realized into film, and he was very
you
cool.
know how
Very
long I've been waiting for this.
And
It's
Channing Tatum's so funny, dude. His freaking French accent or whatever the heck it was, so great, so funny.
yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, that was the third best thing. But I did originally mention the desecration of the grave, but bringing back the even the Human Torch one wasn't bad, but for some reason it just felt a little hollow, just a little bit. Eh.
Well, there.
I
That's
saw it coming from a mile away. Like I
it,
actually knew. I was like, oh, it's not going to be the Captain America, or he's going to get killed right away. And I was right about both. It wasn't
well.
Captain America,
As
and
soon
he
as
gets
I
killed
knew
right away.
Disney had owned it, like I was like, oh, we're gonna see a lot of, and there was just like
There was
cameo
that
after cameo.
awful scene where he goes to talk to John Favreau and he's like trying to get a
You,
job with the Avengers, and then there's like a
no,
whole thing of like clips of the other movies, and I was like, oh, like
you
how
know,
do they have this footage? Where's this footage coming from?
you know
Like,
what actually bugged me was right
oh,
after Chris Evans showed up and he looked at the screen, there was an actual pause, and I was like, oh, they're waiting for everybody in the crowd to cheer. Like it
yeah,
was like I
yeah.
wanted to vomit.
They want all the adult babies get another chair and clap.
I know, clap.
Oh, oh my gosh!
Get out
It's
your
like a give
nerd.
moment
It's about to get
to-
good.
That's right. Yeah.
And then I didn't get getting taken out. And then this whole joke about him selling him under the bus. And then they cut to the scene where he did say exactly all that squabble
That's
about the
right.
bald headed chick. I thought that
That
was
was
kind of
pretty
funny.
funny. Yeah.
It's like I just need to clear the air. Everyone's mad at me because they think and it turned out it was something that he said. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And then let's not forget Hugh Jackman, he was going for it. I appreciate him putting in the effort. It's crazy to have him back. Brian Reynolds saying like, "Hey, they're gonna dig up your grave and they're gonna make you do this for another until you're 90 or something." I don't know. That made me laugh kind of. It was like, yeah, it's kind of like sad and pathetic where they're just gonna dig up this poor old act. Like, what is it with the action stars of today? Like, get a
Dude,
younger,
he's
charismatic person in there.
so jacked for how old he is. I was
I
like,
know.
oh
That's
my
what I'm saying. He really went for it, and I'm like grateful for him. But I'm also like, dude, you put it all on the line with Logan, and I would have been fine with it. And I get it coming back with Wolverine, it was fine. But I'm also like, dude, I don't know. Like, what is he? He's 60, 70? I think he's like 60
He's
years old.
60. He's 66.
That's insane. And that guy is so freaking jacked, and he's still a great action star. I'm just saying, like, I don't know why passing the torch to a younger action star. I don't know. It just seems odd, doesn't it? I don't know. It just seems odd. Every one of our action stars are getting older and older. Like we just mentioned Borderlands, Kate Blanchett. She's in her 60s. She's an elegant, graceful woman. And she's like starring as like some
It's
punk
because
rock action star. And I'm like, what?
all
And
the
then like,
famous people today are on TikTok and whatever, right?
what does that have to do with them being action stars?
Well, I'm saying the reason they keep using older people is because the
There's
only
some
famous people in
technology.
Hollywood are older.
This app's called TikTok.
Nobody young sells tickets. Hello.
Nobody young sells tickets.
Yeah.
He's saying that they go back on. It's similar to the IP, where it's like, oh, I'm
So
gonna
they're like,
have
oh, this older actor that
this
you might
name
care
in
about.
the
Yeah.
film. Yes.
Yeah. Like I get it. Like don't have I honestly was kind of hoping that other actors would be playing. Like did the joke once
With Henry Cavill. Yeah.
with Henry Cavill, which I loved. I actually loved that. I was like, dude, see Henry Cavill. I wish they would have showed more actors playing Wolverine, or at the end have other people being Ryan Reynolds, being Deadpool. I don't know those kinds of jokes. They weren't there, and I was like, that's fine. It's
Well, you're
whatever.
talking like more creative, like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse,
Yeah, yeah.
something along that.
Like I honestly half waited for Daniel Radcliffe to show up as Wolverine at one point because everyone's touted that this crazy actor, Harry Potter, he was rumored to be Wolverine for a while, and then like a few other actors were too. They did it with Henry Cavill. I'm like, why not with anyone else? But anyway, again, it's like
They-
the cost too much. It's like, does
I-
it though? I don't know.
I think
You
Colton
freaking,
nailed it. It feels a bit more lazy. I don't know.
it feels a
So
bit more
elegant.
lazy.
Like
I'm
how
sorry,
they
wait,
went about the
so
jokes and everything.
oh, okay, yeah,
Just
yeah. The
bringing people
movie
back.
was
It's just like
lazy.
showing you somebody. I didn't feel like they incorporated any creative way. It was just
Yes,
like,
yes.
oh,
Like
here's
No Way
another person.
Home, where it's
Another
yeah,
person.
you
Yeah,
literally gave
it
Andrew
is very
Garfield
much like
away
No
to
Way Home, where it's like, hey, remember
Yes.
that emotion you felt when
Yes.
saying, yeah,
no,
right?
but
We
even
did it.
then they worked it into the story where it at least was serviceable. Because like even if you didn't know who these people were, they got story arcs in the movie.
Okay.
I get what you're saying though, because like Henry Cavill is just there for a joke, and it's like, and we're never gonna see from him again, and it does not matter. And I get it; it was part of the montage, which is fine. But yes, I agree with Colton. It just feels lazy. Whereas like No Way Home, I wouldn't point to that movie and be like, "Oh, it's just fan service." I'm like, yes, but again, it still was its own story. Yes, the
All the
actors they
villains
chose
were
for the
very
movie.
fan servicey. It's like, hey, remember Electro and how he was horrendous? Hey, we did made him look better. It's like,
Yeah, I didn't care for any of that stuff. But again, it wasn't even like that didn't even detract from my experience because I was also like, yeah, that movie did suck, and I think it's funny. And now they're like,
that
but
movie did
maybe if
not
it was
suck.
good,
The
yeah,
villain
maybe if it
sucked,
didn't suck, yeah.
but that's the best Spider-Man movie.
Andrew Griffin's a great actor, so it's proving my point where it's like, hey, they gave him a chance to redeem himself, and it was good in the
And he
movie.
stole the
Whereas
show
here, it just feels I don't know.
because he's the
Anyway,
best
is anyone else
Spider-Man.
tired? Is
Colton.
anyone else what possible superhero movie would you guys go pay a movie ticket to go see next? Like, does it have to be Guardians of the Galaxy 4?
The
Like, what is it?
Batman
The Batman 2, I
2.
would
Yeah,
assume.
it's coming out in 2025.
Across the Spider-Verse, or sorry, Beyond the
Oh,
Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
the
I would go
last
see the
one.
Spider-Verse. I would go see a
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse movie right now, and then I would
Um,
pay to see
See,
Cameron
I'll
said
watch
Batman. I
anything
would go
Batman
see
though.
Yeah, I would go see Batman and Robert Pattinson
Me and
again.
Colton are currently watching the Amazon Prime version or like TV series of Batman, Caped Crusader.
Yeah.
It's rough, man, but we're just happy that it's more Batman content, and so we're just consuming it like.
Are you gonna
Yeah.
watch The
garbage disposal.
Penguin? Are you gonna watch that?
Oh
The
yeah,
whole
probably.
show.
With Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
That see, I this complete off topic, but I'm 95% sure. Not 95, I'm more than that. I've mentioned it to Cameron several times how I feel that the Penguin as a character is just Jewish stereotypes. And I can laugh at that because that I can say like that's what like my grandparents and stuff are like or whatever, but like the nose, the penny pinching, the sort of waddle, the accent, like anyways, sorry. It's completely off topic.
Nice.
Colton is
Cool.
Jewish, everyone, so you can't cancel him for saying that.
Shabbat shalom.
Gesundheit. Okay, so what are we doing here? Let's see. Anyone else have anything you want to throw out about this movie?
If
I
you
just
haven't
say
seen
throw
it,
out the movie.
I would say I'd recommend seeing it once. It's okay.
Yeah.
You get a few chuckles. I
I
snickered.
knew a guy that went and saw this 3 times already in the theater, and I'm like, I think he probably saw Chris Evans in like or something because he probably saw that and was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Chris
he was
Evans."
he was the reason they paused the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or well, not
Yeah.
paused, but like there was a silence when he stood there and looked. It was like, oh brother. It was
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've been to packed theaters when
I also
those,
thought like, is there a motif that like only movies that star Mad Max motorcycles are going to be like a thing? Like they mentioned Mad Max, and I was like, the
We have your
motorcycles in this
Queen
were literally.
Furiosa.
I really thought for a moment there, and then I didn't get. Again, this might be one of those things where it's like, oh, if you read the comics, it was such a better fight. Like Wolverine fights the whatever and tears his head off, and yeah, it's like
Sabretooth.
Sabretooth.
I can't even remember the villain at all. Is that crazy? I've forgotten
The
100%.
bald-headed chick, yeah. And
Oh,
then
that's
Xavier's,
right.
yeah.
Oh,
Xavier's
she's
Cassandra
sister.
Nova.
that's right. She's
Sister Nova.
Xavier's. I was gonna say
Putting her hands in
wife,
that computer, and she's
the
like,
sister.
oh. And the computer's like,
That was almost as good as the wavy beam from
that's literally what I thought of when I saw it too, because she's sitting there and all of a sudden all the like the spider tentacles
Suicide
or
Squad.
fabric of matter, and what happens if you touch matter and antimatter? Well, you would cease to
The worst
exist.
the worst image in the entire show was when she was like playing with his eyes and his mind. I was like,
So
Allie kept,
yeah,
me and
I
Allie
thought
kept
it was
looking away. It was
yeah,
disturbing. It was like,
not
"Ugh."
since what was it? That was what was the other one that did it? Oh, did you watch Dungeons and Dragons?
when
Yeah.
he's like, "Bleh," and his,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
that scene where Chris Pine's face goes all wacky, and it's just so creepy and uncanny valley and out of place. It very much is unsettling and unnerving. Yeah, you watch her fingers like move through his head and his eyes, and just like drags him by his face down the subway. That just looks so painful.
You recognize him from Succession? That was fun little
Yes, yeah,
appearance.
yeah. It's the worst character, or really, it's probably the best character. Of
He's the
Succession.
best and worst character of the show. Yeah,
Yes,
he's so horrible, but I love him. They're
I'm
listening.
joking. Yeah,
We're listening.
we're listening.
Dude, Succession's
Dude,
great. If you haven't watched that.
Succession's great. Yeah, see, we're like recommending other shows. This is the Deadpool and Wolverine. And I
Do
have
we
a quick
recommend? I
question.
definitely.
No, quick
Oh,
question though. Was Deadpool and Wolverine like, is that a comic or something, or is this because like I'm so unversed in all of this?
Probably
But
they've done everything.
okay, but that was like long awaited. Was it just because like Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds were friends? Or maybe I don't know if they are friends. I assume
They
they're
are
friends.
friends. So
So, but then it's like, but they're also kind of like you have Logan who doesn't give an and Deadpool who doesn't give an but he's like quippy. So it's like they work well as a team. Like, what is it? Like, was that it? Because like I didn't even get the marketing so much as I was like, hey, I like Hugh Jackman and I like Ryan Reynolds because I loved Logan and I don't know, he was the best part of the X-Men always. So it's like, I guess that was the draw. But I just don't understand like where Deadpool comes into play.
you
So
know,
many questions.
if I cared enough to do any research, I
Yeah.
would, but I don't.
and then I came to myself thinking, I don't care. So
Yeah, just enough to watch it because
just enough to watch it. Yeah. And then I'll be like,
I've seen
okay.
enough.
Quick question. So now we have to ask because it is prescient. There's the announcement. Victor Von Doom is now going to be played by Robert Downey
Oh
Jr.
yeah.
Does anyone
'Cause
give
they
a flying?
They
Now,
don't.
to be
they don't
fair, I
care
already
about-
heard this is actually something I do
third
know.
time's a charm with Fantastic Four, babe.
No, there's a what is it? There's a comic book out there where Iron Man's suit gets or like Doctor Doom takes Iron Man's suit. Like it's actually a comic. So I was like, that kind of makes sense that they're gonna bring back Iron Man for that, but like
But that's
they're
not even
bringing
what
the
they're doing.
actor.
Is
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
thing.
know.
Because
But part of me,
there is a comic series, there's a version of Doctor Doom where Tony Stark is Doctor Doom.
there you go. So maybe
he
that's
takes the
what
role,
it
but
is.
that's not what they're doing. This is
Oh, okay.
Victor Von Doom, not Tony Stark. It's so dumb.
Again, do we know
So
that for sure? Like honestly, there's a scene where or the when he made the announcement, he's looking over at the like the people that are gonna greenlight this project, and he's like, oh yeah, they love me. Like they still love me. It's like, yeah, you were like you single-handedly launched this whole thing, and now without you, it's been totally wasted and lost. And again, it's not even like, oh, because Robert Downey Jr. was there. People will look at Chris Evans and think he's an amazing. Like it's like you just did away with all the ones that you set up and did such a good time with. Like I can't stand Thor anymore. I see Chris Hemsworth, I'm like, man child, and Natalie Portman replacing him. You look at Jeremy Renner playing Hawkeye, replaced by Haley Steinberg or whatever her name is. You look at Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, which I didn't even care for in the beginning. I don't know why everyone freaking loves Hulk. He's all right, punches stuff. It's funny when he beat up Loki, but then I'm like, Mark Ruffalo didn't do anything. It was a CGI monstrosity. Anyway, replaced by She-Hulk. Like every single character they've just replaced, and now they're like, hey, Robert Downey Jr. might be back, and you're like, yay! Like I don't know. It just feels like the last gasp. They're like, clear. They're like trying to resuscitate Marvel, like by bringing RDJ back. And I'm like, I don't know. To me, I'm like, I loved him in Oppenheimer, and I'm like, I don't want to see RDJ subject himself to more Marvel stuff. I do want to see him keep making money, and I love
Yeah,
that,
it's the money.
he's had a
And
second lease on life, but I don't want to see him play any superhero movies anymore.
I think the image that
I don't
you
know.
shared with us works for both Marvel and Star Wars, with just the image of Mickey Mouse milking that cow that's like completely sunken in.
There's this sickly, gross cow that's been milked to like near death, and good job, it's freaking Mickey Mouse just milking it, dude.
How many Marvel shows gonna get out of this cow?
How much can we milk this for? Stop it. The udders need a break. The cow needs a break, dude. I need a break. I'm gonna say
We need a break.
it's just no more.
And this is why
superhero
we're
movies.
talking about it right now. No.
I know, but I feel like that was something interesting I wanted to voice, because I'm like, am I alone in this? I'm glad to hear you guys kind of feel the same, because like I said, I would be interested to be like, Cameron mentioned Batman. That's like, okay, again, DC, very different feel. Is anyone looking forward to James Gunn's Superman? I don't know.
Well, it's not James Gunn. He's just a producer. Like if he was
I
directing,
thought
I'm
isn't
pretty
he
sure
doing? I'm pretty sure he's doing like they turned it
yeah,
over
he
to him.
oversees it, but he's not actually directing them. And so I think that's a huge
kind of
fail.
like what is it, Joss Whedon? No, who's
Joss
the guy
Whedon, yeah.
no, but what's the other guy? They put him over Feige. They put him over Marvel.
All
Oh.
Marvel, yeah.
Do I care? I don't know. Probably not. I care. I'm not gonna care in T minus 4 minutes. Okay. So anyway, folks, the
If you
future's
like
uncertain.
if you like the Deadpool movies, then you should go see this.
Yeah. So there you go.
I'll see it twice though.
Oh, quick question. You should
Don't-
rank your Deadpool. Don't see it twice. Rank your Deadpool movies. Where would you rank? I really think I
For
like
me,
the
it goes
second
1,
one
2,
best.
3.
I like 2, 1,
Really?
3, I think.
Okay.
I have to see the second one again though, because I've only seen 1 and 2 once. I've only seen all 3 Deadpool one time. So like to me, I'm like, I remember being surprised by the second one, and I genuinely liked it. As a comedy movie, I
Because
thought it was funny.
to me, the first one initially was a 8 out of 10, and then the
Yeah.
second one was a 7, and then this one
Yeah.
was a 6 for me.
Yeah.
But after re-watching the first one, it dropped down to a 7, so it's 7, 7, 6.
776. I'd be interested, because part of me wants to go back and rewatch 1 and 2, like you guys said.
What about you,
but-
Colton?
Definitely, I think 1 is the best. But I also feel like they're like if you were to watch 1 and then we watched number 1 and then we watched number 3, and it was just I feel like the character feels completely different.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know, it's a lot like I don't know. Anyways, it's a lot.
You can feel it like go through a sanitation machine, which is Disney.
Sanitize is what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, watered down Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to be like, I care. I need to do something greater than myself. And it's like, that's not, I don't know. I don't know that is true.
It's like
to the
groveling.
Deadpool
Yeah,
I
he's
saw in the
groveling to
movie.
be part of this Disney. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know,
But anyway, I think
just the
I would
guy
say number 1,
Yeah.
number 2, and then number 3, like way lower. But not way lower, a little bit lower. But I didn't even like number 1 to me is not like a movie like I'll even ever like, oh,
Yeah.
I gotta watch Deadpool.
right, right. You didn't get the sticker on the back of your car in the Deadpool.
I have
bumper sticker.
I have somebody in my neighborhood that has like Deadpool stuff all over his car.
Ride or Die by Deadpool. I'm like,
Yeah.
I do love Ryan Reynolds. He makes me laugh, dude. Just Friends is like one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time. So funny. He's great. He's a very funny guy, and I don't know what it is. Like he has to play superhero movies now. I'm like, aren't you? I don't know. Can he greenlight comedy? I don't know what proposal. Like he even said. I'm like, stupid. I don't know. Like, get Hugh Jackman, put that man to rest. Don't make him do Wolverine anymore. This was a fun one-off. I don't think Disney's learned anything. They're gonna shell out Agatha. They're gonna shell out what's the other project? I don't even remember what next projects they have. Oh, they have the new Falcon, Harrison Ford, and
Yeah, we don't
Falcon
need
America.
to talk about those and how bad those are going to be. Anyway.
Yeah, I think it's dead in the water, right? I mean, this felt like I remember we had this conversation when Guardians of the Galaxy 3 came out. This is the same thing where it's like people already had the established IP. These were the last remnants of people that were like, yeah, I still cared about that storyline and those story beats. But now I'm like, I could not care less.
Yeah. Colton,
But
do you
I
want?
still feel like they're gonna make Guardians 4, and it's Chris Pratt's returning. Everyone's back. The whole gang's back together. Anyway, I don't know. Diminishing returns. Boo. Okay. What do you guys? We end every podcast by sharing movies we're looking forward to seeing, and movies that we've seen recently. Colton, start us off. Are there any movies that you've seen recently, and movies that you're looking forward to?
I
I
can
saw
already say what he's
Deadpool
looking forward to
3.
because we bought tickets to see Alien tomorrow. Oh, I'm young. I'm sorry. I just had
Oh,
to mention.
really?
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
that right?
I'm very excited for Alien. I'm also
Romulus
scared
or whatever?
already. Very much so, in fact.
Have you seen his other film? What
I
is it?
haven't
Don't
seen
Breathe.
any of the
Don't
Alien
Breathe.
movies.
No, Don't Breathe. Have you seen
We
Don't
haven't
Breathe?
seen any Alien movies. That's
Uh-uh.
crazy.
Oh.
So I'm
That's
gonna watch a
weird.
YouTube like preparing me plot wise, I guess, for the
Or just
I don't
save those.
think
I
you
I
need
would.
to. Yeah,
Yeah, I would
because
watch.
this is,
It's
from
kind
what
of
I
Don't
understand, this
don't
is going to be a
okay.
soft reboot of one. I think
I'd
they're doing
save
a
number 1
reboot.
and 2 and watch those another time. I wouldn't
Okay.
spoil
Yeah.
those because those
I
are
will
really
I will
good.
do that instead. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree.
Cameron
What about
doesn't.
3? It's directed by David Fincher.
Yeah, Jordan.
That's a
No love for 3.
personal thing. I still like it, but
Yeah, he still likes it, but he didn't recommend it, which I thought was funny.
yeah, because I know nobody else
Yeah.
will like it. It's fine.
He's like, I
Because
know
every
you won't
time that
like it, but I
CGI
do.
thing comes on, it's
It
like,
is. It's bad.
oh, all the suspense is gone.
Oh,
I still enjoy it.
But yeah, I think I'm excited for that. There was I can't remember the name of it. I saw a trailer yesterday for a new serial killer movie that looks actually the trailer was phenomenal. I don't know if the movie's gonna be good, but I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Definitely let
Um,
us know when you find out the title because we are all
y-
about those serial
serial
killers.
killer?
it's like Darling Stranger or something like it's Miramax, which is like but
Is it the one with James McAvoy? That
no, I
foreign?
don't
Oh,
think
okay.
so.
Oh, okay. I've
But
seen the
I'm
trailer
looking
for
forward
that.
to seeing that one as well.
Darling
Uh,
Stranger.
yeah.
Excellent. Cameron, how about you? What are you looking forward to, and what have you seen lately?
We've just been watching
Game of
the
Thrones.
Strange Darling?
season
Yes.
7 of Game of
Strange
Thrones.
Darling.
Season
Okay.
7 of Game of Thrones with Colton and Allie, and it's magnificent. It's the
It
final
is.
it's the final perfect season of the show, and we don't really talk about the youngest child of
Are you
that.
gonna watch it with Colton the last season, or are you just gonna watch it alone, Colton?
Oh yeah, I'll watch it.
Uh,
Are you kidding me? It's
Oh.
In a
the first 3
physical sense,
episodes.
we will be together. In a spiritual sense, we will be very far apart.
The first 3 episodes of season 7 are fine.
Wait,
but
dude, I think it has our Dinner in America boy in it, Jordan. Sorry, the Strange
Kyle
Darling.
Gallner?
Yeah, it's got Kyle Gallner in it, dude.
and
That's
then
hilarious.
I also watched
I
23
drive
hours.
freaking nuts.
Also watched
Sorry.
23 Hours to Kill, Jerry Seinfeld's stand up with mom and dad, and man,
Oh,
there's few things that beat watching dad just like and like laugh so bad that
Dude,
it
like,
hurts.
dude, calm down. You're gonna lose some more hair over it, man.
Yeah. And then me and Colton have also been watching Gotham or Batman Cape Crusader.
That's not like the old cartoon. Is that the new one? What is it?
Yeah, it's
You
the
said
new
it's
one. It's so
Amazon.
sad because
Yeah, there's a new one out, right?
it's
Yeah.
produced or it's directed, I think, by the guy who made Batman the Animated Series, and then it's produced by Matt Reeves and somebody else. And so I was like,
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. So I was like so excited. The writing is just buns.
Yeah.
Like the
I
old.
think it's Cheeks, Cameron.
It is cheeks. The old
It's
Justice
cheeky.
League, like the 2007 cartoon Justice League, has better character writing and like multi-dimensional
Sorry,
characters
you
than this.
mentioning Cheeks and Buns or whatever, it made me think Deadpool dropped 3 things. He said no cap. He said 2 other things that I was like,
Let him
Deadpool,
cook.
let him cook. Yeah, he said 3 things where I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Is that
I
I don't even know what that means. Is that a young kid's thing?
Yes.
Let him cook. I don't know. Isn't it? I thought it was a reference to Breaking Bad, but it's just like, let the man cook. Let him do the thing, right? Isn't it a reference directly to Breaking Bad? Let him cook crystal meth.
Oh, that was how I
No.
Like
was.
a guy's good at the thing, let him do the thing is what it means.
Oh, maybe
But
that's the
yeah.
original. That would come
I
from.
always thought it was let him cook because yeah, I thought that's what it was, but maybe it's not reference to that. But anyway, the meme is, and then
yeah.
the other one, no cap means no lie, and then I
Yeah.
don't know. There was a third one he said. I don't remember what it was.
And then I also
It's funny.
watched It Ends With Us. So I've just been on the Reynolds family binge recently. So I watched that yesterday because I really wanted to watch it because her sister and like friends wanted to watch it. To me it's one of those like it's like Sound of Freedom where it's like if you say that you didn't like it, it's like, oh, so you support trafficking, and it's like But and so it's like about physical abuse. But the weirdest part about it, so I would give it as a film 4 out of 10. And I just feel like the message they tried to do like this plot twist where it was like the entire show, or the entire movie, it seems like all these things are just accidents. And it's being portrayed that way. And then there's like a plot twist where it's like, oh, it gives a flashback and like it shows different footage, and it's like, oh, actually he was like actually hitting her all these times and it wasn't accidents. And I was kind of like, but then it's like at that point we've already built so much rapport because like the entire time we're trying to defend the main character for like hurting this girl because we're like, oh no, his hand got burnt, and then he like taking his hand off the burnt thing hits her, and then it shows later that he just like backhands her and then grabs the thing. I was like, what? And so it's just like completely different footage that I almost felt like
Sounds
we're
like
just
somebody watched Gone Girl and was like, "There's
exactly.
something
It
to
was
it."
like
Yeah,
it was so
yeah.
weird because like at the
That
plot
sounds like
twist,
you're describing. Yeah.
it didn't feel like a reveal, and it felt more like a gaslight where it's like, no, actually, he's been hitting her. Trust me, he's been hitting her. And I was
Yeah, and
like,
you're like, that's not what you showed it. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I
And then
can't stand movies that do that. High
it was
Tension was a
also like a
perfect
weird
example
vibe
of
because I
this.
felt
Yeah.
like they were trying to get us to sympathize for both the abuser and the abused, which I was like, I feel like in a movie like this, you gotta kind of choose one that you're like trying to make the focus point. And I felt like they were trying to make you sympathetic towards the victim, but they're also like, but hey, the abuser's had a troubled past and like he recognized it. So
Cameron, you're gonna
I'm like,
learn
is this
that people in movies today, they don't have agency, because if you make someone have their agency, everyone is just
well he would
bound
yeah,
to the
the also
strictures of
also
the circumstances they're dealt with. Like
the
no one's
abusive guy
responsible.
the
It's
abusive guy was
ridiculous.
also the most AI generated character. He's like this dude with a six pack who's shredded, who's like super like, and it was like giving me 50 Shades of Grey vibes. And then also he's like a neurosurgeon, and it's like, oh, and he's a but he actually is in love now. And I'm like, what human is this based off of? I've never met this like even remotely in this realm. And so it was just like it was one of those things, and it was funny. Allie was like, because all of her friends were just sobbing, and a couple of them have had like physically abusive boyfriends. One, I was struggling the entire time so hard to not make jokes and laugh because I was like immediately because one of the scenes he like throws the girlfriend down the stairs, and so as we're leaving the theater, I grab Allie and I fake threw her down the stairs. There's probably like 12 people in that theater that think that I should, like Allie should get a restraining order on me. But and Allie said she was like, it would have been maybe a moving experience if after every single thing Cameron wouldn't have laughed. So yeah, and that was the hard part. It's like they're trying to make it like heavy, and I was just like, it was because of the cheesy acting and dialogue. I was like,
Cameron's like, I normally don't find domestic violence this funny.
yeah,
It's
exactly. I was
normally
like,
this funny, not this
I
funny.
haven't laughed this hard since Deadpool and
yeah,
Wolverine.
and so yeah, it was kind of I
Cameron's
don't know.
review, best comedy of the year.
Best comedy of the year. That's
No,
great.
I mean, and it
That's
started.
so funny.
That was the weird thing too. It like started off as like a smut or like a 50 Shades of Grey, where it's like, oh, this guy's so sexy, and I was like, what? And then it's like, oh, he actually hits her. Plot twist, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
Glass Onion did that too. They gaslight you. I can't stand that. They think their twist is so clever, and it's like
yeah,
you
and that's the
showed
thing.
us. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not The Sixth Sense where it's like, no, we showed you everything. You just filled in the gaps. It's very different
or
from
even Shutter Island, where it's like
I
you're,
just showed you a different clip than the one you saw before, and I'm like,
yeah, or
oh,
even
you
Shutter
got
Island, where
me. You
it's
lied
like,
to me,
do
but
you actually know what you
oh,
saw? Yeah, this one was just like, no,
that's
no, 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 no. Actually, what you saw was a complete lie, and you're like,
watch Christopher Nolan's The Prestige, dude, and you'll be like, wow, like masterful, very well thought out to
or tell
again
something that's even
trick
better than
you.
The Prestige. Crazy enough, Shutter Island.
No, that one gaslights you too. It basically
That does
does.
not gaslight you.
It does because
It
it shows
shows you
you a scene
everything,
and
and
it's like,
it shows you
oh, I
everything. There's not a single thing in that it's like the only thing is you're like, did I just see what I just saw? Like the no
what
water.
do
You're
you
like,
mean it shows you everything?
I,
It shows you everything twice, and one where he's crazy, one where he's not. It's ambiguous
what?
at best.
No.
Cameron's like, I get the ending, man. I know what's going on. Cameron's like,
It
I know what's going on here.
that's like Donnie Darko, Cameron. I just showed my wife that, and she's like,
What
did
is
I
happening?
not get it? And then we watched a video Jared did about Deep or Dumb, and she's like, okay, good. I didn't miss anything. They're just trying to be more clever than they actually are.
How dare you?
Nice. I like Tatiana way better now. She's got the right opinion, dude.
No, but we
Is it
both
deep or
still enjoy it
dumb?
because there's tons of other reasons to enjoy it
Sure.
besides the
Sure.
crazy time travel stuff. So
Yeah, like Jake Gyllenhaal staring off in the distance. Why are you wearing that stupid bunny costume? That's the human costume. Anyway, thanks for sharing, Cameron. Anything else? He's got plenty more movies coming out, or what?
No, I mean, hopefully
He's
we'll
only halfway
finish.
through his list, Ty. All right,
I
wait.
know. My
No,
goodness. Can't
hopefully
keep
we'll.
getting away with this.
You can't
You can't keep getting away with
I
this.
need to finish the last 2 episodes of The Boys, but I'm just so unmotivated. But I've heard that the season finale is really good, so
Yeah,
I just need to do it.
Yeah, dude. They
And
straight up say
then-
Homelander is a stand-in for Trump if you didn't get it already. Just so you're aware.
and then just watching more Game of Thrones with Colton. So
And Homelander is so much better than Trump. He's so good. He was so good. Anyway, Jordan, how about you? You got any shows that you've seen lately? Things you're
Check
looking
my
forward to?
letterbox, Ty.
Dude, again, why? Are you this episode's running too long? Nobody knows what letterbox is that listens to this podcast. We have letterbox.
Are the people that actually listen to us? I'm sure.
Well, I'll call you out for your letterbox. Jordan gave a 3-star review for Raiders in the Lost Ark. So
We already talked about it last week.
Yes,
talked about
thank
it
you,
last
Colton.
week.
That's the correct response. What the freak is the matter with you? And he goes, "Oh, I think I've just seen it so many times.
I've seen
I'm
it too
burnt out."
many
I'm like,
times. I'm burnt out. Is
you
that
can't see
okay?
a classic, perfect movie too many times.
Okay. Lately, I've been ranking movies on how I feel about them, not how I actually think they are. Does that make sense?
Well, you need to change your attitude, bud, because the way you're feeling about Raiders of the Lost Ark is wrong. I don't know. It's just
Okay.
wrong
Well,
on
I
all
will
kinds of
mention
levels.
I watched Thanks for You to you, Ty. I watched Abigail. Excellent.
What'd you think?
Loved
Excellent.
it. Yeah, very fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad you had fun. Dan Stevens was funny, even though I don't know, he's just hamming it up. But yeah, it's
Cameron,
perfectly fun.
you might enjoy it. It's just fun. It's just silly fun.
Good monster. Did you see it, Colton? You're shaking your head. No, Abigail. Without spoiling anything, I think going in blind is much more enjoyable. So
Yeah.
you definitely should just go in blind.
And then did you
Abigail.
see their first movie, which was Ready or Not, Ty?
Did I see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The wedding one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bride. Yeah, I didn't know that was the same, but it makes sense.
That was same
It
directors.
felt more like You're Next, but or in the guest, but maybe just because of Dan Stevens, he's just kind of getting typecast as like that kind of movie, isn't he? I don't know. Just feels
but
like that.
he worked with the same director, but he did the guest. So
And then now starring in Cuckoo, and it just feels like the same. I just feel like he's kind of like the male version of like Anya Taylor-Joy. No, Micah Monroe a little bit. I don't know. It's like the male version of Micah Monroe and Anya Taylor-Joy, where they're doing like these weird, dark, twisted typecast movies where it's like, oh, he's like doing this in the movie. It's twisted.
Well, I think they're both doing lots of different ones, but those are just the ones that are the best and most remembered.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Because
I mean,
Dan
he's still
Stevens
Matthew Crawley from Down Abbey.
Dan Stevens just did the new Godzilla and Kong thing, and it was.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Was anyone recommending seeing that?
No, I watched it. It's forgettable.
I do like just saying the words that human beings got together and pooled resources and time and talents to build King Kong a giant glove so he could punch monsters better. That's just very funny to me.
Last thing I do want to mention is I did watch just to bug Cameron and Ty. I watched 12 Monkeys, and it's so good. You guys are high for not liking it. That movie is so good.
Me and Colton got halfway through it, and we could not finish it.
DNF'd that movie.
Thank you, Cameron. That movie is so cringe-inducing,
okay,
dude.
you both.
I love Brad
Cameron,
Pitt crazy. It's
somebody earlier in this episode mentioned about Brad Pitt. Dude, he's so good. He's so good. I love this movie. Ty, that's the point. It's supposed to make you feel insane, and you hate feeling like crazy people. And
no, I like some crazy movies. I'm trying to think of a good one. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was pretty good.
No, that movie is dog cheeks, bro.
Dog cheeks. Do dogs even have cheeks? No, dude, I don't know. I enjoyed it. You didn't like it, Cameron? Not a fan?
Which one?
No,
again?
it was. If I was
One
maybe
Flew Over the
watching
Cuckoo's
it in the
Nest, Jack
theaters in the
Nicholson.
70s, I would have
Danny
been like
DeVito.
revolutionary. But since I've seen 400 million people act crazy, I was like, this is not original at all.
I'm so sorry. I have
Cameron's like,
you
crazy
gotta-
people? What a concept.
Okay,
well,
thank
we're
you so much.
basically-
I love
okay.
being here.
Hey, Colton, we love you, man.
See you tomorrow,
Peace
Colton.
and
Yeah, I
blessings
love you
to y'all.
guys too. This is so fun. Please don't make me watch Deadpool and Wolverine again. Please. Okay,
Never
see you guys.
again.
Thank
All right,
you.
bye, Colton.
Later, man.
All right, Ty,
You're
what
a
about you? What have you seen?
I was gonna say he's our favorite, so
Oh,
our most favorite. I don't know. He's my favorite. Do you have another
Okay,
favorite?
Oh, please say.
Why, Jordan? Do you think is a slur? Why do
I
you
don't
say it
know.
like
I'm
that?
not risking it.
It's a religion. It's like me saying he's my favorite.
I think
Mormon.
what's his name? Jonah Hill, because he single-handedly saved Kanye's perspective on, because Kanye used to hate Jews, and then he posted on his Twitter and said, "After watching 21 Jump Street, Jonah Hill made me no longer hate Jews."
Did he
And so
really?
and so the amount of
Dude,
people that were
what
like,
the
Jonah Hill
freak?
just saved the music industry.
Oh my gosh.
That is amazing, dude.
Insane,
Jonah
right?
Hill, man. Jonah Hill. Love it. Oh, Frank, Jordan, what other movie you said check my letterbox? Anything else you want to throw out? You
I
saw
actually thought
Abigail, you
I
liked it,
thought of a
yeah.
quote from Jonah Hill from 21 Jump Street this week because I've been watching a lot of cop videos on YouTube, and I was thinking of the quote when she's like, "While you guys were out, I was out doing this," and then he's like, "We weren't out." I don't know why I just like love that quote, but it's horrible.
Dude, see, that's another dude. Why is dude Channing Tatum? Who would have thought that he
So
would be one
great.
of like the funniest like comedians, like actors, especially after his start of like all he's in is like rom-com, like Step Up and things like that, or he's just like the sexy love interest that has no personality, and then he's also really funny and like She's the Man too.
Yeah, he's almost too handsome for his own good, where you're like, that's
Yeah,
you kind of forget that he's a great comedic actor, which is why Jonah Hill, I think, chose Channing Tatum. He's like, he's good, trust me. And the movie was just genuinely very, very funny.
oh, I need to
I
rewatch that.
I
It's been too
still
long.
I still struggle with his part in Quentin Tarantino's movie. I don't think it was the
Oh,
right
and
role
Hateful
for
Eight.
him. Hateful Eight, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
I
not. But
rewatched.
again, that was literally Jonah Hill giving Channing because Channing Tatum asked a favor for Jonah, and he's like, I would love to be with Tarantino. And Tarantino's like, yeah, I'll let you in my movie. It'll be great. You know, you can come in and you come out of the
Ah.
floorboards and bam, it's Channing Tatum. Because it's fun.
Oh,
Get it?
you
Oh,
nailed that. I need to do like an impression thing,
dude,
animate.
we do need to do our top 10 in movie. Oh, you know, for our next 250th episode or whatever it is, we have to do our top 10 impressions. That'd be great. Even though it would be so cringe inducing, but we all do our top easiest. Like I'm trying to think who I can do really, really well.
Well, you know,
Tarantino.
Tarantino, yeah.
Well, not well, but it's just like knowing like
What
how insane he is, and you're like, oh, like
are,
okay.
are you gonna see the new Alien movie? I'm just curious.
So I'm actually gonna wait to hear what you guys think of it
Mm.
because part of me is like, dude, I'd rather just watch the first Alien. I'm trying to get my brother-in-law to watch it, but he's like, oh, it's from the 70s. It's probably not scary. He wants to go see the new one, and I'm like, okay, but we're gonna watch the 70s movie because you're gonna watch it and be like, holy crap, why is it still so scary? And it holds up. It's
And
like
I rewatched
it's
Alien
good.
2, Cameron, and it was way better when I didn't
It's
watch it
called
with you because
Aliens. Stop
you
saying I've
almost
seen Alien
ruined it
2.
for me. Oh my
Why did I
gosh.
ruin it?
Wait,
Because
Aliens 2?
you were like falling asleep while watching it, and I could tell you just weren't digging it. And you only gave it like a 3 stars, which is criminal.
Oh my, coming
Aliens
from
is
the Raiders
great.
of the Lost Ark, Mister.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
give me that with 3 star.
yeah.
All right, wait, Ty, what have you seen? Sorry, we keep cutting you off.
Well, so yeah, it was Abigail was the one I mentioned there, and then I just watched Ricky Stenicki.
Oh, thoughts?
Uh,
Like?
oh,
No
thoughts?
like?
I did like it. I think it's great. It's like it's literally a stand. I was like, is this like a Christian comedy in a way? It kind of felt like one where literally there's a line where it's like, I read the Bible and it bettered my life. I'm pretty sure it's like a line in the movie, but he's talking about the Bible that is the character Ricky Stenicki's like
Mhm.
the Bible, they write this fictional character friend that gets them out of boring situations like going to their wives, you know, bridal showers and stuff.
Being at their child's birth.
Yeah, missing their child's birth so they can go to some concert or whatever. And it's like this made up friend. Anyway, I still think what's his face needs to play a live action. Zac Efron needs to play a live action version of He-Man. Like, my goodness, that guy went through surgery and he is what a beefcake. I mean, I'm not, but dude, I'm just saying, Zac Efron, dude, holy crap! Ever since the Iron
Beefcake
Claw
is
and
great.
then Ricky Stinky, he has that jawline, and I'm like, put him in He-Man, dude. Get him a bowl cut. So freaking jacked. He has the body already
He
for it.
already
If he,
has. Just give him the same haircut from Iron
I
Claw.
think Iron Claw, what? I think it was the live action version of He-Man, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I think about it. Freaking heck, dude. Anyway, I think Zac Efron kind of like Robert Downey Jr. Robert Pattinson kind of won me over where I was like, oh, he's like this teen heartthrob, but then like proved himself with his acting chops and his comedic timing. Comedic timing, I like how I said
Comedic.
that. Yeah,
Comedic.
Comedic timing.
comedic timing is the that also just or comedy is not just about timing, it's also about pronunciation.
Delivery.
I like Zac Efron, like I do like Robert Pattinson. I think he's proved himself. I finished the Alone show season, the contestants with survival. Freaking sometimes it's sad to watch because I feel like toward the end you have two or three contestants left and they're just like starving to win. Like they're just at the end of the rope and they're like, I have no energy to go out and hunt. I'm just starving and freezing here, and I'm hoping that everyone else taps out so I can be the winner. And you're just like, they have no idea how many other contestants there are. They're just like trying to make it as long as they can until they might win. And sometimes they lose too much weight. Sometimes they get frostbite, and they're like, you should go home. Like you're endangering your life, and they have to tap out that way. But it's such a harrowing show because these are all survivalists that are very, very good and have to survive like in such extreme conditions. So highly recommend Alone if you haven't watched it. It's a great, great show.
I know it's like when I'm watching Survivor and they're like, you have that little like because it nicked and it starts to get infected, and they're like, you'll lose your arm if you don't go home. You're like,
You're like, oh,
but I
okay.
want the $1 million. And it's like,
But
you'll not have an arm. Get out of there, you
Yeah,
psychopath.
you may not, you might have to lose your arm. But can I still compete? No, get out of
Can I
here.
still compete?
Can I still play?
Oh my
No, get
gosh.
out of here. Go home. So anyway, fun stuff. As far as things looking forward to, I'm interested to see this new Kyle Gallner film. What was it? Strange. What was it called? Strange Darling. It's
Hmm.
got my interest. I just love Kyle Gallner, and if Colton recommended it, I'm interested to see about it. Like Cuckoo, I want to see that, so I'm gonna go try
I
to see
was
that.
gonna go see Cuckoo today, but I wanted to see
Yeah.
his first film first, Loose, Luz, and
Loose.
I watched it, and I don't know. I'm having second thoughts.
You didn't care for Frank Oz's films, did you? Or did you like
That's
Blackheart's
a good
Daughter?
point. It did feel a lot like
Yeah,
his films because they're just
yeah.
like it was
Slow.
insanely slow
Yeah.
and very artistic.
Artistic. Artistic. Artistic. Pronunciation. It's hard, folks. I think
Peace,
that's about
everybody.
everything. Everybody, peace out. This has been Future Hidden Movie Gems.
That's good.
Future Hidden Movie Gems.
Peace out, Napoleon.
Please no, Napoleon. Future Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Like us or like our videos, share it, spread it like a virus, pass it on to your friends and family. Give them one of those hyperlinks they keep hearing about. Love you all. And what's the quote from Deadpool? I'm nice pool, Deadpool, the dog. I don't know. None of that was funny. All right, later. Bye.
Bye.